When we ask a doctor who enters the career with great hopes to help humanity to repress emotion on encounter with another human being who is suffering, I'm not sure we're doing a service to the person and to medicine.
Where two people meet, it is best if the health professional is aware that there is a moment where the meeting makes us feel one. So you enter and the encounter being aware, available right here and now for whatever is coming up. Encourage the other person to share himself, and don't restrict, reduce, and cut down to pieces, but allow this to unfold and just be available for listening. Then unfolds a discourse where different options are outlined and the other person then is empowered to make choices, and then you conclude this encounter. That's the basic structure of the relational act.
What Mario has been describing, he's been talking to me about it, at the dinner table at home. So I start studying Mario, literally, to see how he was capable of listening, participating in somebody's pain or joy, and don't be scared or don't be detached. But if it's a huge pain like death or something, he wouldn't be completely hurt by that and so paralyzed.
You know, they call patients they've lost, they say they've boxed. You know, I'm sure you've heard that as a nurse. There's a kind of gallows humor. I think it protects them up to a certain point from having to feel certain things. And American culture is very much about not having to feel community with those who suffer.
The only way a health professional can appropriately appreciate the other person's encounter is to be aware of the mortality in one's own life, in the sense of, okay, this is me and you, we share this condition, as opposed to you have a problem, you may not walk out of here while I'm kind of the white coat and I'm going to use my Corvette for the rest of eternity.
Thank you so much. Finally. Wasn't he amazing?
Because he dawdled, you mean?
Dawdled? Is that what?
You have to wonder why he wasn't in any hurry.
Oh, I didn't get that sense.
Why was he holding my hand?
I thought he was the first. He was the only person here who has seemed human.
I don't want a human. I want a superhuman.
Fine.
A cold, insanely efficient fixer-upper.
He was just the first person who's been here when he was here. That's all.
I don't know that Dr. Dang did spend more time. I think it was the perception that he was so focused when he was with you. I had no concept of time. And maybe in reality it wasn't more time. But it was just that his focus was so fully on you and that you felt so full from the interaction.
He didn't seem rushed.
And he
obviously.
never seemed rushed.
Even paradoxically, it will probably, as Candice says, reduce time spent. Just imagine, let's say, the health professional who just wants to get out of the room because the mind is in the next room already, and the patient, a professional patient in quotation marks, knows exactly what's happening. The moment the physician is at the door, a question is framed that does not allow the physician to leave, because if it would, then it would have medical legal consequences. So it's back into the room, invisibly pulled back in. And then once to leave, it's pulled back in. So it's probably the wisest, not only from a humanistic framework, relational act, relational medicine, but from everything else also, to just be aware, mindfully available, and just make the decision to be there.
This is Robert, my love.
Hi, Robert.
Robert is the main character, inspired by, and his wife Amy. How are you?
Today, for the first time, the actors read the plays and the patients were present.
Today the patients heard my play for the first time, which was a nerve-wracking experience in certain ways because I didn't know how they would react.
After surgery, when I was in and out of consciousness in the ICU, that was when I saw this light blinking above me.
Guess seeing a light is a common experience.
No, it was a green light, blinking from the ceiling every few seconds. And I thought thought these were the eyes of my grandmother.
Watching their faces and their reactions and their really visceral emotions to the play was an overwhelming experience.
Turns out the green light was just from the smoke detector.
Still, your grandmother was speaking to you.
In the smoke detector?
Well, she was protecting you.
I started a friendship with this device, and I eventually thought it was like my grandmother. And I talked to it all night, all day, and it gave me strength.
All the things that you guys did in your parts, it's amazing.
Robert came up to me after. He said, every day I spoke to my grandmother through that smoke detector, and I just lost it. I just started crying because it was the emotion of what he was saying, and to realize that this play really reflected back to him with authenticity and genuine feeling.
They are opening my chest. Oh, now I remember. I felt a sharp down here, and the man was running and people screaming. I realized that I had been injured. I believed that the man stabbed me, but I fainted.
Emotion theater for me is something new that we actors and playwrights and directors should do to catch the emotions that are typical in our time. For example, this time we are working with patients who got high-tech surgery, and they experience emotion that, for example, my parents couldn't.
Isn't that? But how is that possible? I can't be at the top of the list.
I think that emotion theater is kind of a highway because you never know what kind of emotions come tomorrow. I'm giving up my heart. I'm giving up my heart. For I have donor papers that I carry with me. And my daughter is with me. She knows. I've died.
Powerfully, exceptionally written. So much sensitivity to the broad issues and to the deep issues of love and conflict and patience and caregivers.
It's almost like these actors and playwrights were at the hospital at Columbia when it happened, and they were standing over our shoulders watching us.
I'm of the deep conviction that catharsis does not mean an expelling of emotion, but it means there, but for the grace of God, go I.